This is the Entrepreneur Unleashed Show, Episode 2 with Patty Keating.
The Entrepreneur Unleashed. The Entrepreneur Unleashed. The Entrepreneurs Unleashed. The podcast where purpose and passion become revenue streams. Be real. Take a stand. Change lives. Here's your host, Patty Keating.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Entrepreneur Unleashed Show. I'm Patty Keating, and I am thrilled that you are here with me today. A big thank you to all of you who encouraged me to launch this podcast. As you might already know, for the last 10 years, I can't believe it's been that long, I have been focused on helping entrepreneurs identify what I call their money spot, and then get that gold that is theirs into the hands of their customers by creating packages and programs online. So that's what this episode is all about today. I'm so excited about today's topic because it's all about you and how you can get your expertise out so that your secret sauce can be received by all those people who are waiting to learn from you. There are 3 steps to identifying your money spot. So we'll break it down today, and I'm going to give you each step piece by piece with a little exercise that you can work through so you can get started right away. Step number 1, you have to know what your strengths are. And I know that sounds like a no-brainer, but many times your greatest strengths are almost invisible to you because they seem so easy and so natural. And many times we think that we have to work hard to be successful. And while we do have to be committed and take action every day to get our businesses built, what we deliver, our secret sauce, is what comes easiest for us. It's so natural, as I mentioned, that it can be a bit elusive. So one way to see your strengths is to understand your core values. What you most value shows us who you are in the world. And when you make choices that honor your core values, you feel strong, powerful, happy, and fulfilling. And that's where you provide your greatest value in the world. That's also what attracts clients to you. So we want to make sure that your message and your package and your program are screaming who you are to people so they can find you. So here's an exercise to help you identify your core values. First of all, I want you to think of a time in your life when things were going really well. They just seemed easy. You were happy. You were in the flow. Life was good. It could be a moment in time, a day, a time period, but just think of that time. And then I want you to ask yourself, in that moment, what values were being honored for me? So I'll go ahead and share a list of the values in the show notes so you can go through this on your own later. But basically, you're going to look for words like connection, commitment, communication, freedom, integrity, adventure, accomplishment. Those are some common core values, and we want to know which ones are the most important to you in order to put together your money spot. I want you to look for your 5 top core values. Write them down, and then next, we want to look at which one of those 5 is number 1. What is your number 1 core value? The way you do that is once you've gotten your list down to 5 values, then you can ask yourself this question. Let's say 2 of your values are freedom and self-expression. Those are 2 of my core values. So I'll use those as an example. The question would go like this. If I could have freedom or self-expression, but not both, I would have, and then see what your answer is. You might be surprised. Say it out loud. And go through this until you come up with your number 1 value. It's important to know that because that's really what you most value in the world. And we want to make sure you bring that out in your marketing message. What values are coming up for you? Write them down. Now, let's look at step 2. Step 2 is to identify what you stand for in the world. What do you stand for? What would get you on a soapbox? One way to determine what you stand for is to ask yourself, what pisses you off in the world? What just gets under your skin and irritates you to no end? What is that? Some people will say lack of respect. I have clients say not being heard. I want you to think of what it is for you that really irritates you, and then write that down. You know, we all have passion about world issues, how people are treated, what we want more of, what we want less of. And this is a clue to your purpose and passion. So that's why it's important to look at these questions. For me, what irritates me is when people do not or cannot express themselves. They can't or they don't, for some reason, share their gifts. And there are people out there that need them and they can't find them. And this is not shocking because my core value is self-expression, my number one core value. And that's what my business provides, a way for entrepreneurs to express their unique gift and contribute to the world. No surprise, but contribution is also one of my core values. So you can see how this plays out. Next, ask yourself what brings you the greatest joy about the world, and then jot down whatever comes up for you. My example, again, for me, I get so excited about seeing people being real, standing out, helping other people, and prospering as a result of it. That's what makes me so happy. So what brings you joy? Once you've identified what pisses you off in the world and what brings you joy, you can create your stand. So let's say, for example, your core values are personal growth, education, and commitment. What irritates you is when people are ignorant and make poor decisions. So your stand might sound something like this. The reason the world is having so much struggle today is because people are not growing, they are lacking education, and there is no commitment to change that. When people understand the value of education and they choose to grow and be committed to getting results, everything will transform. Now, you can also flip that into a positive stand. The reason that our world is designed to prosper is because people understand the value of growing personally. They continue to educate themselves and they make a commitment to moving forward every single day. This is an example of what your stand might sound like based on your core values. Now, step 3 in the process is to look at your experience. What have you been doing throughout your life that you maybe have mastered or you're really good at? What is your experience? Maybe you've been working in a job, raising children, in corporate America. Maybe you've always been an entrepreneur. What have you been doing throughout your life that other people can learn from? The next part in identifying your experience is to think about what you love to do as a child. What made you crazy happy when you were a kid? I'll add the experience map to the show notes on the website. You can find that at pattykeating.com/2 for episode 2. You'll be able to get all the show notes and listen to the podcast there. We'll be sure to upload the experience map to the show notes to help you recall the experiences you had as a child. So for me, I loved running around barefoot in the country as a child, and that is because I have a very strong freedom value. I did not want to wear shoes. I still don't really like wearing them when I run, especially. So what was your favorite thing to do when you were a child? Next, look at what do you love to do as an adult? I still love to run around barefoot. There's going to be some good information there. Do you see some common threads. Okay, so once you've got your core values, what you stand for, and your experience, you can begin to see what your secret sauce really is. So I'll give you an example of a client. A client of mine came to me. She had a small networking company. She put together, it was like a leads group. She put together groups locally, and she wanted to differentiate herself from some of the other networking organizations out there. And so we did her money spot session, and we got really clear on a couple of key values for her. One is community. So we can see why she was attracted to doing this business, because she loves community. Another one was contribution. And a third one was fun. So in designing her business and her marketing message, she made sure that it was all about community. She made sure that the events were fun. They weren't as structured as some of the other networking organizations. She added a lot of special events in her company. She allowed people to go to different groups without a lot of regulation and structure. She made it easy for people to have access to each other 5 days a week. And then she added a contribution component. She sponsors several local charities every year. She does a golf outing. She does a Valentine's Day event that contributes to these organizations and makes her feel so fulfilled. She's honoring her values. And what happens is, because she's sharing openly who she is, the perfect people are signing up. She now has a franchise in over 3 states, and she's rapidly growing. And it's because she stands out in the market because she's so real, and she's taken a stand for who she is, what she wants to see more of in the world. So her values are in her business, and the results are amazing. Another example is my own coaching business. My top core values, as I mentioned, self-expression is number 1 and freedom is a close second. I also love to create. So I've always been an entrepreneur because I love creating. I love the freedom of having a business designed around my lifestyle. And I love expressing myself. So you can see the Entrepreneur Unleashed teaches people how to express who they are in the market so they can create freedom in their life. And that's my core values. So what is that for you? Write it down. There's 4 reasons that people will buy from you. 4 main reasons. 1, they want to make more money. 2, they want more time off, or they want to reduce the time they're spending on some project or task that needs to be done. 3, they want to improve their health. And 4, they want to improve their relationships. Now, what I want you to think about is, which of those 4 does your secret sauce deliver? And I want you to look at your deliverable through this lens. So I just got back from doing a speaking event about an hour ago, and I was talking to someone who is an executive coach, and he's been selling leadership. And when I took him through this part of the exercise at the meeting, he was kind enough to volunteer to be coached in front of everyone. I took him through this exercise, and it became clear that he's selling leadership, but one of his core values is accomplishments. He's all about getting things done. And when I pointed out to him that when people are getting results in the business, when things are being done the way they need to be done, the business is going to make more money. They're going to be more efficient. They're going to save money on costs, and they're going to make more money because they're a viable business. So I pointed out to him that he is in the business of helping corporations make more money. His offer needs to be about achieving results to improve the bottom line, not leadership. Leadership is what he will teach the clients once they're on board. That's one of the components of his deliverable, but that's not what people are looking for in the market. You have to remember this statement that I'm about to share with you. It's very important. Sell people what they want. In this case, improved efficiency and a viable bottom line. Sell them what they want, then give them what they need. So if they need more leadership, if they need team building, if they need productivity, deliver that, and that will create the result that they are shopping for. So many times people try to sell their features and can't figure out why the gold that they have isn't being valued in the market. And this is one of the number one reasons. So write that down. I'll put it in the show notes as well. Sell people what they want and give them what they need. When you speak authentically, you resonate with people. You know, people buy based on emotion, not based on logic. As much as we want to think that we've thought through our purchase decisions and we make lists of the benefit and, why we should and why we shouldn't, in the end, we make our decisions based on emotion. And differentiates you in the marketplace will be one that will have an emotional impact on your prospect. And that's created by understanding this 3-step process. You just ooze value when you're aligned with your core values. You'll see people light up or get on their soapbox because it's their passion, it's their purpose. And then those prospects will say, I don't know what it was about her or him, but I knew they were the person for me. Well, that's because you were resonating with that prospect by allowing them to see beyond your services and to get a glimpse of who you are so that they could say yes or no. This works both ways. The people who are not ideal for you are not going to resonate with your message. And that's okay. In fact, that's good. When you attract clients who are aligned with what you're delivering, with who you are, the results are going to be better. You're going to love working with them. They will love working with you. You're going to get better results. And guess what? They're going to rave about you. Now you're going to have raving fans. When you work with clients who, they're okay, that's the results you're going to get. That's their perception of you. Don't be mediocre. Stand out in the market. Take a stand for who you are, what you believe, what you deliver, and don't be afraid to be a little bit edgy about it. Don't be afraid to say, I don't work with whiners. I earlier was coaching a fellow on his mortgage broker company, and he was saying that he didn't really want to take a stand because he was afraid it would be perceived as, not helping everyone, and would that be an integrity? And we dove a little deeper and found that he has a really strong integrity value, and he cares a lot about responsibility. So we crafted a message for him that if you want a mortgage broker that will put you into any loan you want, even though it may be overextending your budget, then I am not your guy. There's plenty of guys out there that will do that. But if you want a mortgage broker that is going to make sure that you are getting into the best deal, you are going to be able to grow as a result of the transaction, and you are going to feel comfortable when the whole process is over, then I am your man. And he loved that message. And so now he feels like he can go out and take a stand for integrity in making purchase decisions in the housing industry, which will allow him to differentiate himself. Thank you for joining me for the very first training of the Entrepreneur Unleashed. We will be having some great guests who are highly skilled at speaking, at platform building, standing out in the market, podcasting. I've got a great lineup coming your way. I'll also be interviewing purpose-driven entrepreneurs and letting you hear their story of overcoming obstacles, the challenges they faced, how they knew what their purpose was, and how they pursued, and how you can too. So be sure to check back. Every week we'll be launching a new episode for you to listen to. Subscribe so that you won't miss an episode, and be sure to add your comments in the comment section on my blog and review my podcast for me in iTunes. It would mean so much to me if you would help get the word out and let other people who are here to create amazing businesses know about this podcast. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Entrepreneur Unleashed Show. If you did, please go to pattykeating.com and let me know what you're up to this year in your business. While you're there, be sure to grab your copy of 5 Quick Ways to Share Your Expertise.